Hello, I'm Jennifer Martin, and I'm thrilled to be part of this team to talk about modes of communication in the final module of our course, Parenting is Healthcare. My task is to show you how using 4 modes of communication will help you reduce the stress of parenting for your families, to help them feel comfortable in talking with you about the behavior of their children, and to help you feel comfortable providing the parenting strategies to manage it. Let's look at 4 communication modes. Some may be familiar. All of them are designed to increase your confidence and reduce parents' stress when managing children's behaviors. These are dialogue of we, vocal mode, facial mode, body language mode. Now, let's see how these 4 communication modes work. Using the behavior checker basics. For the first behavior checker basics, where the Ask Us About Parenting card is introduced, we'll use the dialogue of we mode. That means using words like we, our, and us, rather than only you or I. Here I am at the reception desk, ready to welcome the parent or caregiver and give her the Ask Us About Parenting card. Listen to this example of not using we language. Mrs. Baker, here's your Ask Us About Parenting card. You can review any of these behavior problems your child has with the care provider. No we language here. No us, our, we. In contrast, listen for we language in the following. Welcome to our clinic, Mrs. Baker. Please take a moment to review our Ask Us About Parenting card. On it is a list of everyday behavior issues that all children do. Our providers will work with you to resolve them together. Notice the difference? We're in this together. Now that we set the stage with the dialogue of we, we'll explore 3 other modes of communication. The vocal mode, how you say what you say. The facial mode, how you feel about what it is you're saying. The body language mode, how to use body language. Research has shown that well over half to half, that paragraph again, or do you need me to back it up?
No, you can just do that.
Okay. Research has shown that well over half of our face-to-face communication, provider to parent, is through these 3 modes. That means everything beyond the content of the words is an important part of your communication. Using the vocal mode, let's move on to the second behavior checker basic, where the behavior issue is identified. The vocal mode emphasizes tone of voice, pause, intonation, and emphasis. The parent has been roomed and has identified a behavior problem from the Ask Us About Parenting card or from screening questions. Mrs. Baker, you mentioned that bedtime for Clarissa is a real struggle. Let's look at some strategies together. Once we've done that, we'll give you some suggestions for follow-up at home. Could you hear how tone of voice, pause, intonation, and emphasis convey confidence in the provider? Now, let's look at the facial mode. It conveys confidence and empathy through eye contact and a smile. Families who react positively to this mode will look closely at your face to see how you feel about what it is you're saying. At any moment, that may be more important to them than the content of what you're saying. In Behavior Checker Basics Step 3, show you believe in Behavior Checker by smiling and making eye contact. That will set the tone you want. Let me demonstrate. Let's say the behavior issue identified by the parent is climbing. The prescription for that behavior is brought up on the screen or printed out, then discussed with the parent, just as it would be with any healthcare issue. Mrs. Baker, I see you want some help with Clarissa's climbing. Let's find climbing on Behavior Checker. Here it is. Let's look at some tips to try at home. First, redirect. When she starts to climb something that she's not permitted to climb, redirect her to something that's okay. Say, I'm sorry, you may not climb the dresser, but we can go outside and climb on your swing set. Another tip. Could you see how eye contact and smile convey truthfulness and a belief in what you're saying? In the final step of Behavior Checker Basics, a written prescription is given to the parent. The body language mode is helpful here because it's about action, yours and the parent's. How you sit, stand, gesture, and handle the printed prescription, behaviorchecker.org information, and phone number for follow-up questions. Watch. Before you go, here's a printout of what we discussed. And this brochure will tell you more about Behavior Checker. You can go online, on your phone, on your tablet, and find the same information we talked about today. behaviorchecker.org, and our phone number if you have any questions. Notice the positive body language. In the end, these 4 modes of communication will help you feel more confident as you communicate to parents that healthy parenting is part of the healthcare services you deliver, just as taking a temperature or listening to a child's heart. The research-based communication modes we've discussed in this model have been demonstrated to build positive, patient-centered relationships.